Hi, this is William from Great Affordable Watches, and today I'm going to review the Spinnaker Croft. And this is the blue dialed version with the blue bezel. And as always, let's start off with some specifications. The case size is 43 mm in diameter. The lug width is 20 mm. The case thickness is 14 mm. It got a sapphire crystal. It is water resistant down to 150 meters. It got a screw down crown, 120 click bezel, and the Miura 8218 movement with the sub-second dial between 3 and 6 o'clock. And we can start off with the dial. The dial got a blue center that fades out to black in the edges, and it got a grainy texture to it and golden applied markers with golden lume. It got the logo at 12 o'clock that says Spinnaker, a very clean and simple logo, and it got some minor text here at 8 o'clock, and of course the sub-second dial. It also got a date with a cyclops at 3 o'clock. And I must say I'm not the biggest fan of cyclops, but I'm sure a lot of people will appreciate it. But I think the overall watch would have looked a lot cleaner without it. But overall I really like this color combination and the minor red touches here, the red text, and the blue dial with the golden markers look fantastic in my opinion, and the grainy dial is really nicely done, and I haven't seen this color combination that often, and this is really nicely executed. There are a few minor things I dislike about this watch, which I'm gonna talk about in a second, that would have made this watch a lot better looking in my opinion. But overall the dial looks fantastic, and honestly I want to see more watches with this color combination and this kind of blue. And as we can see, this watch is very vintage inspired with this kind of bezel, no crown guards, and the golden markers, and a sub-second dial on a diver. I'm not really sure about that, but they have done a great job with the dial overall. But a sub-second dial, I've not seen it that often on diving watches. I think the last watch I saw with the last diver I saw with a sub-second dial was the Breitling Super Ocean, and now discontinued version of it that had a sub-second dial at 6 o'clock. So I'm not really sure how I feel about it on a diver in general, and especially at this location, but I like that they are trying something new, something a bit more unique than your standard diving watch. But I would have preferred a version of this with no cyclop. Okay, let's move on to the case and the bezel, and I must say the case is very nicely finished. We got brushed lugs, brushed sides, and a really nice chamfering here between the lugs and the sides. And I must say the case finishing overall is very nicely done. I must say I really like a good looking chamfer. So the case finishing on this watch is really nice in my opinion. The bezel is also very vintage inspired, and it got a 120 click action, and it feels very solid, very smooth, almost no play at it at all. And the only issue I got with it is that sometimes when I turn it, it feels a bit heavier, and sometimes it feels a bit more loose. The resistance is not very consistent. Perhaps this is only my example, but I think it's worth noticing that I got this issue on my example. But overall I think the bezel action is quite solid for the price you're paying, and the price of this watch is $320 US, which is fairly reasonable for the specifications you are getting. And I must say I really like the sapphire crystal. It's slightly domed and it really matches the vintage inspired look and the vintage look of this watch. So I really like that. The negative things about this watch, except the Cyclops, which some people may like, as I said, is the case size. And this is a big minus in my opinion. It is 43 millimeters and it wears very big and very thick. And as we can see, this is a very vintage inspired watch, and I really like the color combination. The dial looks fantastic, so I want to see more divers from Spinnaker with this color combination and the dial with the red text and all that and the golden markers. I think it looks great, but the size is just too big for what this is, and sizes, watch sizes are going down. So this being 43 millimeters and vintage inspired, that is a bit of a shame in my opinion. I would have liked to see this in 39 millimeters, maybe 40 millimeters, and I think if it was in that size, it would have been perfect, and I would have loved this watch, because the size, as I said, is just too big for this kind of vintage inspired diver. And as we're gonna see on my wrist shot later, it wears a bit too big on my 7-inch wrist. And if Spinnaker would have made a 39mm version of this one with without the sub-second dialed Cyclops and the exact same color combination, I would have really loved that watch, and it would probably one of the better looking watches in this price range, better looking divers in this price range. So I really hope Spinnaker makes another version of this one, but smaller. So yeah, let's take a look at a wrist shot so we can see how it wears on my wrist. Be right back. Okay, here it is, and as we can see, it wears fairly large on my wrist, fairly thick. And as I said, this is a bit of a shame, as it looks great and the finishing on the watch and the case overall is also very good. And I guess some people will like the size, and 43 is not that big, but as sizes are going down, as I said, I think 43 is a bit too big for most people, especially when the lugs are fairly long as well and the case thickness is a bit thick. But I must say it wears pretty comfortable, and if you like bigger watches, I think this is a really nice alternative, especially in this price range. And you got a really unique looking watch with a very nice color combination, probably one of the better color combinations I've seen in the past year. In that sense, in that regard, I really like this watch, but the size, as I said, is a bit too big, unfortunately. The watch comes with a blue strap that really matches the blue dial and the blue bezel. And this strap is treated, so it is water resistant. I'm not sure how water resistant it is, but it should repel some water, and probably a lot better than a regular leather strap. You could probably take this strap swimming. It would be very interesting to see how this holds up in water after a couple of water exposures, but perhaps I will test that in the future. Before we finish this review, we're gonna take a look at the winding action of this watch and how the crown feels. So be right back. Okay, here it is. And as I said, the crown is screwed down, and so you have to unscrew it if you're gonna wind it, and setting the time, of course. And the winding action is really solid, as Miura usually are. Miura movements are often very solid in general. Not the most pretty movement or the most accurate, but very solid. The Miura 82 lineup are true workhorse movements, so this will last you a long time without issues, hopefully. And as I said, the crown feels extremely solid, almost no wobble at all. Even when you pull it out, there's almost no wobble at all, so that's very impressive. And I must say, the sturdiness and the robustness of this watch in general, the build quality is really, really good. I'm very impressed by the build quality, and it's honestly over my expectations. Too bad this is just too big for this kind of vintage inspired diver, in my opinion. So hopefully they will make a smaller version of this one. So let me know what you think of this watch, and do you like the color combination? Do you like the sub-second dial and the Cyclops? Just let me know what you think down in the comment section. So thanks for watching, and if you like this video, please leave a like, and if you want more watch related content, please subscribe to my channel. And I hope I'll see you in the next one. Bye.